Hey, coffee cuties. We are back with another banger. And today we are back with another reaction video where I give my raw and unfiltered opinion about viral topics surrounding curly hair. And today we definitely have a banger indeed because we have a Hollywood actress exposing a lot of the natural hair discrimination within the Hollywood community, etc. So be sure to grab your popcorn, grab your tea, grab your coffee out of your coffee cutie mugs available now on my website because we are definitely going to get into some things. This is going to be about a 5-part series. So, again, sit back and relax as we maneuver through all of this. I am going to play each part. Pause, read some comments, get some commentary. You know how we do. So let's go ahead and insert video number 1 first and then come back with some more commentary after that. So let me go ahead and pull up the first video. Here we go. Now, the first video is 8 minutes long, so I'm going to put it on full screen and then again come back with a little bit more commentary. So here we go.
And I promise I'm going to try to make this much shorter. I was doing a TV show where I was playing opposite someone, a woman who is considered universally gorgeous, considered gorgeous, stunning, drop dead, one of the most beautiful people that I've ever seen up close. And she's stunning. There's a phenomenon in television and film where there will be a Black woman in the movie, TV show, and her makeup won't be right, her hair won't be right, her clothes, like she's just not put together, not attractive. And the way that she's presented is very desexualized, desensual, like just there's nothing about her that is about the particular character that is beautiful or sensual or anything. And you meet these women on the street, or you see them outside of that particular role, and they're gorgeous, they're sexy, they're everything. But then when they get in the role, this particular character, and they're just a lot more plain. And I don't necessarily know that is a phenomenon that happens within to white actresses quite as much. So I'm doing a show, playing opposite this incredibly gorgeous white woman, or anyway, and interestingly enough, it was happening to me, and it was coming from the top down, right? The leadership of the show that I was on, the network, the studio, the showrunners, everybody loved my look, loved it, loved it. I hated the way, tears, full on tears, full on every day at work. I would cry. And then I stopped looking in the mirror. When they would do my hair and makeup, I would just avoid the pretty hard task because some big old mirrors. But I would just look down with my sides, learn my lines, do whatever on the phone. And fortunately, my dressing room did not have big old mirrors everywhere. It was a very old little dressing room area that they had for me. So I would just avoid mirrors because I knew in my mind I looked bad. I also know that I was playing opposite one of the most beautiful women in the world who was head to toe designer clothes, hair on point, makeup on point, everything was on point for her, right? And the reason why it took so much out of me is because, again, like I said in the previous video, I thought I had unpacked so many things about beauty. And what I had done was feel good about myself by infusing the reflection I saw in the mirror with beauty, right? Like, my hair is beautiful. My hair is gorgeous. My hair is beautiful. My skin, all of that. And when I was forced to confront a reflection where nothing about it was beautiful, I felt diminished. And then I had to sit with that and be like, do I fight against what's happening to me? Or do I really sit with, is it okay to not be beautiful? So I look ugly. And so I look in the mirror and, I never forget one of the outfits, the color of the top. I was like, this is the color of baby poop. This is baby poop. This is baby poop. This is the color of baby poop, right? Can I be okay with ugly clothes, not so great makeup, not so great hair, nothing that's flattering me, nothing that's bringing out anything about me? Like, can I be okay with that next to the most beautiful woman in the world? Why am I so obsessed with beauty? Why am I so obsessed with looking as beautiful as her? And I would say, well, Ryan, it's because, Black women were not considered beautiful. And then I'm like, okay, so should we be considered beautiful, or should we be fighting against the fact that beauty in and of itself is a trap, right? The feminine mystique, like, is there power in embracing being ugly? These are the thoughts that I'm having, right? I don't have an answer. I never did get an answer because the show was canceled. So, so I didn't have to figure that out. But I joke. I'm still sort of not struggling with that, but I'm grappling with that. I grapple with, and had somebody, and I'll overshare a little bit more. Oh, I said this was going to be short. I lost a good chunk of weight while I was doing that show. And one of the reasons was because I was like, I'm an ugly Black woman on this show. I can't also give, the one thing I can control is my weight. And after the show was done, I finally understood. I was like, oh, that's why. That's how people become anorexic, because the one thing I could control was my weight. The one thing within that realm of what it is to be beautiful and attractive, I was like, well, I'm uglier than her. That gives me less power than her. But maybe I can be thinner than her. And it's okay. I give myself grace for thinking those things, because at the end of the day, I think those things because I'm a product of my environment. But what I can do is look at those things. I can observe myself thinking those things and try to deconstruct all of that and find my way through that. And there's no roadmap. There's no roadmap. There's no way forward. But I will tell you this, has somebody been like, would you put a relaxer in and we can weave it up and we can, give you an 18-inch bust down? I would have taken it immediately. Me, the natural hair guru queen. I would have been like, whatever I need to do to not feel this feeling, I will take it. I felt like my natural hair had been weaponized against me to make me into the less attractive of these. And listen, the woman is really one of the most stunningly beautiful people on the planet. So it wasn't like I didn't feel like, oh, I got this. I didn't even think it was a competition at all until we got in it. And it wasn't a competition. It really wasn't. But it was just, it wasn't a competition, but it was a profound feeling of being less than. And feeling like, and just those feelings that I had not felt since I was a really, really, really little girl, of my hair not being straight enough, all of the things. Yeah.
All right. Wow. So, what are your opinions about part one? We're going to read a few comments and then I'm going to give some commentary. So, someone stated, pro makeup artist working in TV and film here. The makeup wasn't glamorous, but your role wasn't glamorous. Sometimes managing what you like personally is different than what is appropriate for, I think she was going to continue and say the role, but the next person better not be in games because I thought you looked dope every week. Love you always, sister. And then someone said the end game question mark. I understand your thoughts, but I thought you were pretty on that show. So she did not confirm which show she is referring to. However, some people, I guess, have some assumptions about what your girl is talking about, etc. I'm not too familiar with all of her work, so I'm not sure again what type of guest I can even put into the hat. But if you're familiar, leave it down below. What show do you think your girl is talking about? But she made so many good points in this 8-minute video. First, I want to talk about how she talked about how they kind of downplay Black women to kind of be like a non-sexual type of energy, kind of like I like to say asexual, or it kind of gets into the mammy stereotype where Black women, our only role is to serve, or kind of in more modern times, they even put Black women kind of like the sidekick to the main character, where their lives just basically surrounds the main character, typically a white woman in these major movies. And the Black woman doesn't have no type of dating life, no type of life outside of, again, just being the sidekick to that woman. Um, this is why I feel like it's very important for Black people to own our own media so that we can control the narrative about what Blackness is, our beauty standards, etc. And I understand we have people like Tyler Perry, but as we know, Tyler Perry misses the mark a lot of the time. And I feel like we should have a lot more options going on about the, again, the conversations, the narrative, the way we are perceived on television, etc., than just Tyler Perry, because I definitely feel like if you are in a role to the point where how are you supposed to even feel confident if you cannot look yourself in the mirror, because you know the way that they have you appearing within the role is so bad that, again, you can't even look in the mirror and face that thought. You just have to basically go in, do your job, look down, and then you're playing opposite of someone who they are putting on a pedestal by having the correct hair, makeup, etc. That would be difficult for anybody. Again, that's why we need to be in control. But I definitely feel like when it comes to the whole Hollywood, the machines, all the people that be behind the whole sector, all of that, I definitely feel like if they put Black women on a pedestal in these TV, films, etc., I personally feel like they know they cannot compete. So they often try to downplay our beauty by trying to put us in, for example, like she stated, masculine type clothes, not having our natural curly hair popping the way it can be, so many things. And it goes way beyond hair. I even thought about the reparations argument as she was talking about this within the video, because they don't want to put Black people on a pedestal, or not even pedestal, equal playing field in general when it comes to, like, again, reparations that would put us on equal playing field to our white counterparts, etc. They do not want to see the day that that happens, because I personally feel like they being people of different admixtures, races, etc., who purposely put these things in place to hold Black people down, know that they cannot compete if it was a equal playing field. But I also want to say that we as Black women definitely have the right to be able to feel beautiful. I know she kind of touched on, like, is beauty that important, etc. My answer is yes. We have the right to not only feel beautiful rather, but to be able to embrace our beauty the same way other women are able to do freely. Again, she's not asking for anything special. She's just asking to be treated equally. But I do also like the fact that she did touch on skinny privilege, how she wanted to have some type of sense of control over her beauty. And she felt like, her body, the weight or the lack thereof weight, was the only way she could do that. That is a conversation that's going on all over social media currently. So she did touch on that as a way to feel beautiful in her own skin. But the most important part is when she talked about she felt her natural curly hair was weaponized against her to make her feel less attractive. Hollywood does this so much when it comes to TV, movies, etc. They play a big part in pushing that narrative that natural hair is quote unquote masculine. They are behind the algorithm that's pushing a lot of content. Oh, natural hair is so hard. Oh, natural hair is childish. All that type of stuff, because we don't control the algorithm. We don't really know fully what goes into it. It's just like certain videos go viral and certain don't. And I definitely feel like it is a push behind that so that Black women can not love and embrace their quality natural hair. So when people say that, oh, it's just hair, what's the big deal, etc., no, it is definitely a war against Black hair, and in particularly quality natural hair. And I am so glad that she discussed it in this video. But now we are going to actually move on to part two, because your girl definitely added more to the conversation than the original video. So let's go ahead and pull up the next part and see what else is going on in the story. And also, in the meantime, be sure to drop what your opinions are about all of this as I move on to part two. So here we go.
I'm only gonna make like 2 or 3 more videos about this, maybe just 2. But this is 2 plus little teeny quarter video, and I'm gonna make it short because I go on and on and on and on. Long story short, short story long is me. Okay, fine. I have an actress. If I said her name, y'all would know who she is. Beautiful girl, Black, and she and I have a mutual friend who is also a Black actress. Who, if I said her name, you would know who she is too. But I'm going to keep everybody anonymous. So let's call actress A Vanessa. Let's call actress B Rose. We go to Rose's wedding. Me and Vanessa are there. Vanessa and I see each other at auditions all the time. I'm going to just let y'all know auditions are the type of place where, you kind of try to keep to yourself if you don't know the person, but it's also your colleague in a way because you see them all the time. Like, right. And this, Vanessa and I, if I was up for a role, Vanessa was up for a role. And we were very at similar points in our career where we were always auditioning, not necessarily getting offers. So we saw each other a lot. So we see each other at Rose's wedding, and we can kind of like let our guard down and be more like, oh my God, I love you too. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, we love Rose. We're so happy for Rose. So Vanessa and Vanessa is beautiful, and she's beautiful she has a lot of the accoutrement of beauty, right? She has straight hair. She's just a pretty girl, regardless of how her hair is, but she does have, I was natural curly, this coily hair, and hers is not. Anyway, so she looks at me and she says, Ryan, I just want to tell you that I love seeing you at auditions, because whenever I see you, I know that they're not looking for someone beautiful, that they're like really looking for somebody who can act, right? And I know exactly what she meant. She was not trying to say what she said, but what she said is still what she said. And I'm just saying it because I just thought it would be a nice addendum to add to the conversation that I had before on here. Yeah. Vanessa's a very sweet girl. And Vanessa she was trying to connect. Oh, under 3 minutes.
All right. So, what are your opinions? Wow, is all I have to say. I'm going to give a little bit more commentary in a second, but let's read a few comments. So, someone said, Vanessa, girl, when I see you at auditions, I know they are not looking for someone smart, just someone who can act. And then she said, oh, I'm not saved enough. And then someone else said, nah, because she definitely could have easily said, when I see you at auditions, I'm relieved because I know they're looking for real talent. Yes, that is definitely a way, way better way to put it. And then someone else said, I need to know what Sterling said. I need to know what Sterling said. So that is from the other video or whatever. But when it comes to this whole conversation about Vanessa, again, being a Black woman who is attempting to more mimic the European beauty standards, it sounds like, based off her, usually wearing her hair straight and all the aesthetics that, kind of appease that crowd more, stating like, oh, I know they're not looking for someone who is beautiful if I see you here. That is absolutely insane. So the creator is a very nice woman for what it appears, and she was able to not go off and kind of read between the lines of what she was trying to say. But again, that is absolutely crazy. Like, you really got some nerves. I don't care what the quote unquote Vanessa looks like. That is not a way to speak to your fellow sister. If you are trying to give her a compliment, we definitely have to do better as Black women in that department. If you're trying to say, hey, I enjoy the fact that you are a great actress and I like that you're here because the roles can it seems like a more serious role, say that. Don't do what the Vanessa did. It clearly seems like Vanessa may hit the marks in beauty, but when it comes to social awareness, etc., she clearly is missing a few marks there. But next, we are going to continue this conversation on and go on to another video that the creator talked about when it comes to her experiences in Hollywood with her coily, beautiful natural hair and just being a Black woman in general. So let's go ahead and move on to the next part. Here we go.
I had an audition once. We'll call the network BBC. And it was a network television audition. It was a pilot. It was pilot season. I'm gearing up. I'm like, let's go. And I go in for this nurse, and in the description, they talk about how she's, frazzled, but with a heart of gold, doesn't have time for herself, always has time for her patients. Got it. Good. I go in, I do the audition. I really like the material. I get a call from my agents and managers, and they're like, what did you do? And I'm like, I don't know. What did I do? They were like, Ryan, what did you wear? Did you wear makeup? And I was like, I mean, a little bit, yeah. And they were like, okay, so how do you not know that you're auditioning for you're auditioning for BBC? It is network television. How? I mean, you can't just go in there with a swipe of lip gloss and a little mascara. I was like, but they were like, who cares about how do you not know? It's network television. Now, here's the thing. They want to test you, but they're really concerned because they just don't understand why you would go in looking like that. And I was like, but the character, they're like, Ryan, you're not in New York. This is not theater. This is not some independent film. Like, what are you doing? So I got texts, I got emails, I got notes about, you better go in there. This is what they want. This is how the script, like, go in, like, right? I just got my hair done, and I was reminding my stylist of this. She's like, I remember this. Yes, because I called her panicked. I got my hair done, and I was wearing a weave at the time. It was, freshly pressed. I meticulously did my makeup. I never fit a cream colored tank top silk with the jeans, the whole heels, the whole thing. They opened the door because I ended up testing. You walk in, and I could hear like 3 or 4 people like breathe a sigh of relief. So imagine my surprise when I'm on a BBC show. Where is this conversation about? But it's network. Yes, there's the character, but it's network. It's elevated. Yes, there's the character, but this isn't some independent. Where is that conversation? Imagine my surprise and my confusion.
All right, so there is part 3. So your girl is definitely sharing the tea about Hollywood. So let's read a few comments. Someone said, I used to want to act so bad. I still think about it. These stories make me realize I would never survive. Uncommunicated social expectations are to a blame of my existence. And then someone else said, I know this has nothing to do with what you're saying. I cried when I found out Endgames was canceled. I was obsessed. It went on to the next video. So we're going to go ahead and pause there, and I'm just going to give a little bit of my perspective. So She basically talked about how she went for a role and then she went as her beautiful, more on the natural side, a little bit of makeup here and there. But I guess the expectation when it goes to auditioning for bigger roles is to just to be super glammed up, which I find ironic because your girl talked about the fact that in her role, when we started out the video, they wanted to downplay her beauty, but in the next role she went for, they were upset that she was not glamorized enough. So I definitely have compassion when it comes to actresses, etc., because it does definitely sound like it's just a constant battle of what's good enough, what's not good enough, and then adding black woman on top of that, and then adding having curly natural hair on top of that. I know that that is probably a lot to go through, the tug and war, just the constant pull about your beauty and the perception of it, etc. So again, my compassion is definitely there. But when it comes to us who are not in Hollywood, who are just everyday black women with our beautiful curly hair, I definitely feel like that's why it is best to do what is best for you, what brings the most peace of mind to yourself. Because again, the society one minute will say, hey, we like you this way, next minute is that way, etc. It's very important to create your own beauty standard. But we are going to go ahead and move on to another video that I found interesting. So let me go ahead and insert that one. So this is going to be another video of her doing more of a deep dive about her experiences in Hollywood. So let's go ahead and see.
Deny what show I'm talking about. When I was referencing my in my video about not feeling great opposite my co-star, I just want to say this for the record: the hair stylist, the hair team, they were incredible. My hair never fell out. My hair was moisturized. It was the products that they used. They used incredible products. They didn't use anything cheap that was going to destroy my hair. They were very respectful of my hair and my curls and offering, treatments if I wanted them, making sure that I had all the products that I wanted and needed. The same with the makeup department. The best products. Tell us whatever you want. She made sure that whatever she used on my skin was healthy, moisturizing, not drying, all of the things. They were incredibly kind. The wardrobe was bomb. They were amazing. And so was the entire crew, an incredible crew. The hair, the makeup, the wardrobe, they executed their job flawlessly. Their bosses told them exactly what they wanted and exactly how they wanted me to look, and they executed it. I was not their boss. I was not their boss. I was not their client. I was not a producer. I had very little say so. And I think that that's sort of the point. I think that, and that's what I was trying to say in the video about the audition for the network. And then they were like, it's network, no one cares about just the character, you have to look elevated. And so now I'm on a network, and that there's no conversation about it being elevated. Everybody's like, oh, but the character, and I'm like, now we care about the character. Okay. um but the network, the studio, the showrunners, the directors, everybody loved the way that I looked, and they absolutely dictated to hair, makeup, wardrobe, what I should look like, for sure. And they did their job, and they did their job flawlessly, as far as I'm concerned. I just did not like the way that I looked, right? I thought that the way that I looked was unintentional. And I think that that's where the issue for me ultimately lies, is in the sense that while I recognize that whether I'm playing a cop, an FBI agent, a lawyer, whatever I'm playing, in my mind, there needs to be an intentionality behind why the character looks the way that they look. And I also think that had there been a little bit more, not even, had there been some collaboration between my character and me, Ryan, the person, having some say so in what I felt comfortable in, and we could have come to, uh, met maybe not in the middle, because it wasn't the but if we had been able to work on my look together, hair, makeup, wardrobe, I probably would have felt like I had some control and some say so. Um, Given the fact that it was such a big part and such a big, what I felt at the time, opportunity for me. You also want to feel comfortable. And there's a difference between looking good and feeling comfortable. And ultimately, I think I felt very uncomfortable in how I looked. And yes, I use the word ugly, and maybe I shouldn't have, but that is just how I felt. I know I should have used that word, because that is how I felt day in, day out. And I also felt powerless. Someone mentioned that in a comment, and I was like, that's actually a really, really good point. I felt powerless, and it didn't, the look didn't feel intentional. So
All right, so there you all have it. That is another part to the saga. I definitely want to say your girl is so beautiful, coolly natural hair popping, skin popping, no makeup, very beautiful woman. I am happy to hear that they did treat her well, the as far as wardrobe, the hairstylist, etc. And it wasn't really up to them. They were executing what the bosses, aka the powers that be, wanted, and they were the ones in control of downplaying her look, her beauty, etc. Again, these people in the higher up positions, they are controlling the narratives around black beauty, black quality natural hair, etc. That's why, again, I think it's very important for us as black people to come together and create our own media outlets so that we can be in control of the perception of us overall. Because as your girl stated in the video, she felt very powerless. She had no control over her look and how she was going to be perceived on this big opportunity, etc. Very unfortunate. Someone did say, can we have a podcast on this topic? And she said, excellent, ideal, because your girl does have a podcast. I'm going to have her TikTok link down below, so you can definitely check all of that out. But it is one more video that I wanted to play surrounding hair, as a commenter did ask a question about hair in Hollywood, etc. So this is the channel about Coley natural hair. So I thought that that would be good to go ahead and add. So let's go ahead and see what the commenter had to say before we give more commentary and close out.
So this is a very good question. Sorry that I'm still in my pajamas. I do apologize. So as far as hair, you have the opportunity, own hair, stylist. That is called a star request, meaning that you have been given by production and by network, studio, however it's all, whether it's film or television, you've been given something called a star request, meaning you have negotiated in your contract. My experience is that those are uh, difficult to come by, and you have to be at a very, very, very high level to get one of those star requests. So I have never gotten one. I've never had a star request. So the answer is no. So this is a very
All right. So if you were ever wondering if those, so the commenter said in full, as far as hair, do you ever have the opportunity to do your own hair, have your own stylist, or does it have to be provided by production? So that is the question that she is answering, just in case you were interested in that. But I'm going to go ahead and go to her page so we could just kind of have her on the screen as I just kind of give my final commentary about all of this. So let's go ahead and get it to a good roll. As you can see, she is constantly rocking her beautiful quality natural hair. Again, very beautiful woman, very youthful looking, amazing. So yes, I definitely wanted to highlight that as we go along and I give my perspective of all of this. So in conclusion, just in general, we definitely, unfortunately, live in a society that uplifts European beauty standards, and they are wanting to always put their woman on a pedestal. That is why, again, like I've been saying all throughout the video, it is so important for us as Black people to come together so that we can control media. So therefore, we can be in control of these conversations in just our overall perception, how our beauty is perceived, whether being in control of our own beauty standards, rather, etc. So, what comes to mind when I think about all of this is like Issa Rae, how she had her show Insecure, and she definitely put Cooley natural hair on the map, always showing the versatility, whether she added extensions, they were always coily, or if she wore her beautiful TWAs, short, long, all in between. So that is a good example of how to change the narrative around coily natural hair and the way Black beauty in general is perceived. And she was the main character. She was not a sidekick to another character, and she was just kind of like her whole purpose in life, etc., was to serve that character. They again often like to put Black women, unfortunately, in these roles. So the more and more we can control our own media, we can definitely be in control of how we are perceived. So that when young Black girls are looking up to different things on TV, movies, etc., they can have those role models that we are still fighting to have even in 2025, unfortunately. But also, when it comes to just the whole narratives about downplaying Black beauty, etc., there are several ways that we can combat this in the meantime as we come together and create our own media outlets, etc. That is simply by not supporting shows, movies, etc., that place Black women either in a negative light or kind of like a lower class citizen, etc. There's just so many examples, especially when it comes to like the main character being just this beautiful epitome of beautiful white woman in the Black character, like she was kind of describing in the first video. Her role was definitely downplayed, etc. Some examples of this I could think of is like slave movies, for example, where they're often depicting Black women like the mammy, the servant, the underclass citizen, etc. I personally do not typically watch those type of television shows or movies at this point in 2025. I do know that it is a very unfortunate time in our history, and it should definitely not be downplayed, ignored, or overlooked. But I want to see Black women and Black people in general painted in more lights than that. We have accomplished so many great things since that unfortunate time in our history, and that should be highlighted as well. It should just not be okay if we're going to greenlight a Black movie, unless it's Tyler Perry and we know he definitely misses the mark a lot of time. It has to be some type of slavery movie, etc. We're definitely not a monolith. There's so many great things that Black people have accomplished, so many great stories to tell, etc. And that is why we need to do our part and be in control in telling them. But this one was definitely a doozy. So I am very curious to know what your overall thoughts, opinions, and perceptions about the actress, her story times, what TV shows, etc. do you think your girl was talking about? Any and all thoughts are welcome down below. Also, are you an actress yourself? Leave down below your experiences in Hollywood dealing with all of this beauty standards, etc., or just how you perceive it when you're watching different television shows. Any and all thoughts are welcome down below. So I am excited to read all of your thoughts, opinions, and etc. But at the time of this recording, we are 1,712 people away from the goal of 10K by March. So please tell a friend to tell a friend that it is Liddy over here. So many more conversations are going to happen. So many more bangers to come. Also, on the way out, be sure to check out the bio. Coffee Cutie mugs are on sale. Free Discord on and popping. The link is over there. Also, membership channels currently being revamped. There's already content over there. So definitely be sure to join and check it out today. Turn those post notifications on because it is going to be so much more to come in 2025. But this is the end of this video. So until next time, see ya.